All right, all right. Come on in, everybody. Come on in. Come on in. Today we're gonna do a nice one. We're gonna do a TNT Photon HQ Masters of the Universe Netflix edition, or what was that? The Netflix Kevin Smith Master Universe Revelations breakdown, video break or trailer breakdown. All right. I was very excited when I saw this, but I mean, afterwards, we're going to go through this video and break it down, this trailer and break it down. But what we're going to do afterwards, what I'm going to do is offer my opinions of the show, of what I think is going to happen. And I hope he doesn't do this, but I mean, you know, all we can do is hope and speculate that he will do the right thing by us fans. Okay. So I wanted to go up here and share this trailer with you. And I know YouTube is going to demonetize me, more than likely. Facebook will too. But I wanted everyone, I'm just very, very excited to see the Masters of the Universe be revisited. Hey, what's going up? What's going on, Kenyatta? Glad. Thanks for tuning into the show, brother. Thank you so much. And I want to let you guys know I'm not like one of these newbies that just started collecting or just been into Master Universe just out of nowhere. So because a lot of my opinions that I have slated for this segment or this episode today is going to cause some controversy. And yes, I've been into this for a minute. I'm not new to this, man. I'm not new to none of this right here. I have been following Master Universe ever since, when it came off the heels of Thundar the Barbarian, which in turn at that time, what everyone was trying to mimic because of the success of Conan the Barbarian. I have always loved the mixture of sorcery and post-apocalyptic landscape and storytelling of science and magic coming together within the Master Universe realm. I've always loved the fact that it was big, giant, muscular guys and monsters, so on and so forth. So, this may be a bit of a soft, rough topic for some individuals after we go through this trailer together. But in the meantime, let's all check out this new trailer of Master Universe Revelations by Kevin Smith, which will be featured on Netflix on July 23rd. So I'm going to share this with you right now. Hold on one second. We're going to share this. Let's share this real quick. We're going to share this and I will see. We're going to go through it together so you guys can see if you're as excited as I am about this trailer. Hopefully you guys can see the whole screen right here. And here we go. So let's start this from the beginning.
Time after time, you try to take this castle.
As you can see, there's some CGI going on right here, but the backdrop looks good. The atmosphere looks great. It does look like the entrance to Castle Grayskull.
But you will never succeed, Skeletor.
And I guess that's the princess, the source.
Champion.
If anybody knows, that's Mark Hamill's voice right there, who has done the Joker. I don't mind Skeletor's voice being changed up at all like that because you want a little bit of progression. Yeah, we would actually, to really be honest, I like him better than the original voice actor of Skeletor. I had just gotten accustomed to him. I had gotten accustomed to him as a kid, but this sounds great. And it looks like this is Stridor's foot right there. Skeletor looks great. He has his Havoc staff. Man-at-Arms looks amazing. There he is with his Havoc staff looking great. That looks good. Man-at-Arms look boss. I've always loved Man-at-Arms. And I like the way that they put him in his classic outfit where so he has the one shield or the one side or the right side with all of the armor on it, which pretty much like if anybody knows about ancient gladiator fighting, your side that you were most adept with or most how can I say, more fluent with, that was the side you guarded, Here he is popping the daylights out of Trapjaw. Trapjaw looks great. Loving the animation style, loving the darkening of it. The lines look good. Of course, this is He-Man. Sorceress makes a grand entrance. She looks good. Teela looks great right there. Everything is looking good so far. Says says after 40 years. Man, you got the whole squad right there running up. Let's run it back. I wanna capture it when it yeah, you have some Eternian soldiers right there. You got Fisto, Clamp Champ, and Tila. And you would expect Tila to be leading that fight because of the simple fact that she is the Eternian Guard captain, more like possibly lieutenant now, because this is supposed to take place in the future, years from when the Filmation series ended. The animate, look at Beastman looking great. And again, this animation and art style puts me in the mind of the 2000X or the 2003 X Master Universe series, which I absolutely love. Yeah, the toys were absolutely great. They did not have that much articulation, but they were very beautiful. You know, Merman, Eternian Guards, Sorceress looking good. I do like the fact, now one thing that I do like, and I honestly believe this harkens back to the 2000X, because that is if you look at Cringer over here, Cringer is very cowardly as he was, and he has the same representation as well as Adam did in the 2000X series. Hopefully you guys are seeing this. Let me switch over. And it looks great. Is it as epic as the Filmation version? No, but at the same token, I mean, still good. You see the power sword over there. And you notice that they changed the crest on his chest, which instead of it being the cross, and I understand why they did it for religious reasons, you know, people that might be religious, because there was a problem back in the day with him having a cross on his chest. So the H seems more feasible in today's time, which I don't mind. I don't mind at all. He looks like He-Man. That is how He-Man is supposed to look. I'm loving how they got the loincloth going on here, the belt, the chest harness and everything like this. This looks like He-Man. And if you look, it is reminiscent or it is character accurate as to the toy of He-Man, where one arm had a larger gauntlet and the other one had a bracelet. Skeletor looks great. Battle Cat looks good. I'm loving the muscular structure they're giving Battle Cat. Looks absolutely great. This looks like a treat to behold. Now, I hope when they do the toys, and yes, I will be purchasing these toys. That they decide to scale them differently in size. I don't want all of them just the same size, the same height, whatever the case may be. I want them to be similar to the 2000X line. Again, that 2000X line, if you've never collected that line, you should definitely check it out. Roboto, as you can see, Roboto looks great. He got his his hammer attachment looking good. Sorceress looking good. Looks like, oh man, look at my man Triclops looking great right there. The artwork and animation looks good. Could they use a little bit more darkening? I guess because I've been spoiled with 80s and 90s animation, whereas though like a lot of darkening and shading they would use within the artwork. Yeah, but it's still good. Triclops looks absolutely amazing. Let me pull this back a little bit more. That looks good. And look at Orko. I am glad that they've made Orko the wizard that he is essentially supposed to be, because if you know anything of the comics, Orko's been around since the Battle of Hordak and so on and so forth, whereas though he was a major role. He played a major role in the Battle for Eternia. An epic battle ensues between Skeletor and He-Man. That looks great. Now, if you look at one part in there, it looks like Skeletor had the shaping staff. if I'm not mistaken.
Call your champion.
But this looks great, man. I just can't wait. I cannot wait. I guess that was Skeletor after his film. Maybe they give a little origin story. And if you go back and watch the 2000 X series, you'll see how his face got like that. And the reason why I like that one much more than what I did with the original Filmation one is because it was more of a darker, barbaric story. And yes, I understand Lou Scheimer wanted it to be geared more towards kids. But when I was growing up, the comic books that came with the action figures were very, very dark. They were very dark, and they leaned more towards of Conan the Barbarian, Thundar the Barbarian theme, whereas it was very dark. But I understand how Lou Scheimer took the cartoon during the Filmation era and made it into the, more palatable cartoon series that it is now. But this looks like it's veering more towards what it is supposed to be. I want to show you, I could have swore I saw Skeletor with the shaping staff in his hand. Yeah, no. You see some skeleton warriors there too, if you look real good. If you look real good, there were some skeleton warriors he destroyed real quick. Needle Basher, I think that is. Triclops looks great. I love how he teleported his fist in. That looks great. That looks amazing, man. On July 23rd, part 1. All right, so. Oh, yeah, he definitely looks better than the 80s He-Man. Now, where I have an issue is that there have been rumors and speculation that Kevin Smith is going to really put his political and social agenda within this Masters of the Universe series, and that there's a bait and switch going on within this, because there's been speculation and rumors, and some of this storyline has leaked that this may be turning into a situation where Teela takes over the whole aspect of the show. Would I mind that? Not at all. But at the same token, I don't want you to bait and switch me into believing like, okay, this is going to be about He-Man. And the next thing I know, it turns into where it just becomes all about Teela. All right. Without any more He-Man being recognized, or He-Man is just thrown to the back burner and stuff like that. Master of the Universe, sad to say, is basically about He-Man. And people want to see He-Man. Yeah, there can be different stories, different iterations within the story, but they want to see He-Man and Skeletor battle each other along with their other minions. Am I a person that can take change within the story? Absolutely. Anybody that reads comic or that is in the pop culture takes change all the time. In fact, they look forward to it. But you do not change the core elements of a story just to fit your narrative or fit your agenda. If you want to do that, you create your own series and brand for that. All right. So I have been doing some research because I'm a Masters of the Universe fanatic. I love Masters of the Universe. I love He-Man. I've been following it. No, I can even quote episodes to you, even though Filmation was not my favorite. I didn't like the Filmation series as much as I liked the comics that came within the action figures as a child. I was just happy to get anything in reference to He-Man when I was growing up. As a matter of fact, He-Man was the reason. He-Man, along with other muscular or hyper-masculine characters, were the reason why I started working out. Hey, Kihinde, how are you, brother? Was the reason why I started working out as a kid into my teens. I wanted to be big and muscular, have some muscles on me and stuff like that, which is the reason why I loved He-Man, because he represented everything along with Conan the Barbarian that was hyper-masculine, that was so on and so forth. And again, you can't change the flavor of ice cream when people are used to vanilla and stuff like that. You can give them other flavors, but you can't take vanilla and just make it a pickle flavor. No, it hasn't started on Netflix yet, brother. Hasn't started yet. But I say this to say that, getting back to my talking point, I've been doing some research because I'm very excited for this series. And I'm very happy that Kevin Smith decided to do this. But at the same token, there has been speculation as to what as to Kevin Smith's integrity towards the show, not only the show, his fans, and the He-Man brand or the Masters of the Universe brand. If you want, as I was talking to a friend of mine named Norbert, right? And yes, it looks great, but there's problems getting there because everybody believes, because there's been leaked script, that this is just basically going to turn into what you saw right there is to grasp the old fans into watching this, and then it just turns into a woke fest. All right, I don't want that to happen. Yeah, he's been watching since 1981, exactly. And there's been, you know, he actually said that at one point he wasn't a fan of He-Man. Now, I understand, you know, what's going on with Kevin Smith. I understand, you know, and my heart goes out to him because he was very sick. I've always looked up to Kevin Smith. I've loved him when he did Clerks, Mallrats, Clerks 2. He did the animation skit. It was a bunch of stuff that Kevin Smith has been into. I've always followed comic book men, but I mean, you know, you have to keep the fan, you have to keep your word, brother. If you're going to be a person that's going to take on this and then you blatantly come out there and say, like, look, I will not do this, I will not do that, and then you do something later, not only will you lose fans, you will lose, not only will you destroy the original property by changing it into something just for a trend or for pandering's sake. You're going to lose fans as well, because the Master of the Universe, the Master of the Universe brand is actually has a very, very large following. Has a very large following. How do I know? Because I'm a fan myself. I'm a fan myself and have been since I was a child, along with my other friends. So you can't just come in and, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, you're not willing to take change. Oh, you have to understand what. No, I don't want a whole bunch of social and political nonsense within my escapism. I'm not saying there can't be change, because anybody that's into sci-fi, anybody that's into pop culture, that have been in it, that's really into it, not you new jokers that's just on it because it's the new trend or because it's the new movies that are coming out and stuff like that. Just like you have people that'll try to tell me about Marvel and comic books because they've watched the Marvel movie once. Those Marvel movies are adaptations of the source material, which is the comics, which is usually the 616 universe. So when a lot of people come to me like, oh, well, this is that and the other, I'll be like, all right, okay, I'll take your argument point, brother or sister. But now I need to see some of your stuff that you've read, some of the books that you got on deck. You know what I mean? Some of the stuff that you got back here hanging up on your wall, some of the shirts. Because, see, I'm heavily invested in this, and I have been since I was a child, well into my adulthood. I have books that I've spent thousands of dollars on, merchandise that I've spent thousands of dollars on, and continue to, because I am a true fan. I'm not somebody that'll just go Google something and then come back and be like, oh, well. No, because you didn't know that before you just Googled it. You're dipping in and out of the conversation because you don't know. You're Googling it as I'm talking to you. As I'm feeding you the information, you're looking it up and then try to still put the spin on it to fit you when the truth is right there. All right. So with that being said, I am hoping that my man, Kevin Smith, doesn't disappoint us. But there's been leaks and people there. I'm not the only one who has a little bit of skepticism when it comes to what Kevin Smith is going to do with this series. If he does this, I will be very, very, very disappointed in Kevin. Very disappointed. And I understand, like, you know, by him having the heart attack and by him, I think he possibly almost had a stroke. Don't quote me, but I know he had heart issues, so on and so forth. I understand he may be looking at it as though, like, you know what, I have to supply for my family. I have to make sure they're okay. So I got to do my master's bidding, so on and so forth. But why would you do your master's bidding when when you were essentially brought up or raised up or became this famous pop icon through your fans? Why would you betray them like that? I understand you may need to feed your family. You want to leave something for your family, whatever the case may be. You feel like maybe your time is clicking or time is ticking out or whatever the case may be. But you do not destroy the fan base integrity, the honor that you have as a pop culture fan, as a pop culture aficionado. You do not destroy their trust like that. You do not lure them into something just so you can push your agenda or the agenda that they have set forth for you to make money. How do I know? Because I know a lot of my business and my my advertisers, so on and so forth, have not taken to me because of the way that I express myself. Because I feel as though integrity and honor go further than just your financial gain. So we're going to go over here and look at it. There are a ton of videos out there where a lot of He-Man fans, and yes, I've been receiving messages left and right from fans of Masters of the Universe that are worried, that are concerned. And Kehinde Martin says, again, it's a cash grab out of desperation and fear. Yes. Again, it looks amazing. It looks amazing. It looks amazing. And I've been talking about this for years, for at least 2 years now, year and a half now, since he mentioned that on Twitter that he was going to do this. But over here, not only just here, but other places, and I'm going to bring this up, and regardless if it's information that you like or not, that's the problem. Whenever there's information out there, take it from every source. But if a ton of people are telling you the same thing over and over and over again, you should at least look into it. Now, a lot of people may not like this site, but I have other sites as well that are saying like, oh, they're always spreading lies and rumors and this, that, and the other. Yeah, but it's not just them. Now, over here at Cosmic Book News, it says He-Man fraud exposed. Kevin Smith caught in a lie, not a fan, all about Teela. Kevin Smith is apparently a big fraud when it comes to He-Man and has been caught in a big fat lie as a tweet unearthed when 2013 reveals Kevin Smith stating he is not a fan of He-Man. In addition, it appears as if Kevin Smith, Netflix, or both have been lying to fans about the show's plot. I wasn't a He-Man fan, he states. The tweet states, which is the direct opposite of how the Netflix show has been promoted in the media and what Smith has said himself. Now, see, one thing I can't stand, which is what they do a lot now, I do not like deceptive marketing. I hate deceptive marketing. I'd rather you just come out and tell me like, look, this is this, that, and the other, blah, 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 that this show is going. I'll respect you for that. But if you do this as a means to garner the old fans to watch your material or watch a property that they think, and no, we're not looking for the classic Filmation He-Man. We're looking for the core elements of that character being left intact. In addition to the story, you want stronger female protagonists within the story, create more. You don't shoot one down, the main protagonist of a story down, just to build one up. How do you want to know how that turns out? Look at Transformers the movie. Although it is an epic and phenomenal movie, that movie made the beginning of the end for Transformers. They were never really able to bounce back correctly after that film. Although I think it is a movie, an animated movie masterpiece. Hasbro was never really to bounce back with Transformers after that film. Why? Because they tried to get rid of the main protagonist or shoot him down for something new. You can at least write them out for a second, put them in a coma or something like that. But when you totally, like, how can I say, obliterate that character, or you just disavow that character as nothing, then yeah, you're going to lose a massive fan base. And over here, they have the tweet that Kevin said many years ago in 2013. He says, Kevin Smith, not a fan of He-Man. Tweet, I wasn't a He-Man fan, but Gallery 1988 is running an awesome Masters of the Universe art show. I have the power. Exactly. And it says Kevin Smith described as a He-Man superfan. In EW.com's exclusive first look article, Kevin Smith is described as a He-Man superfan. Maybe he became one later on. But you're stating right here that you were never a fan. There's a video going around where he says from 1981 to 1982, he watched He-Man. And yes, we do know sometimes production, copyright and production dates were sometimes wrong. But this right here shows that this is why the community is in worry right now, or concern right now, or full of skepticism right now. And it says right here, everything I've worked on, in 27 years, this is easily in the top 5 of my favorite, most satisfying projects, said Smith. A He-Man superfan who showruns Revelation, an executive produces with Mattel Television's Frederick Soley, Adam Bonnet, Christopher Keenan, and Rob David. When I die, they'll be like, he made Clerks, remember? Cause that's the most memorable thing I think I've ever done. I think this is a running shot at being like he has made Clerks and the one cartoon that one time. Everything I've ever worked on. Okay. And it says Kevin Smith filled with He-Man tears of joy. Yeah, that's another thing. I don't know what's going on where he's always crying on screen. And that's, I have no problem with that. But I mean, he's questionable right now. He's very questionable. Now, if this turns out to be, well, you will be seeing me post up, oh man, this was a great show. This was a wonderful show. But if he goes that woke route by totally disavowing He-Man and the Master Universe and so on and so forth, or just totally making it seem as though He-Man's been wrong this whole time, because when you think about it, He-Man's been wrong this whole time. All the men are bad within the show. All the females are the winners within the show. I thought that's why we have She-Ra. We have She-Ra for that, So I'm hoping that he doesn't do this. I am so hoping that he Kenyatta, right, hold on. I agree with you. We do not need a woke He-Man in the Master Universe series. I hope that Kevin Smith does not fuck this up. Always respect the man. Absolutely. I'm a very big fan of Kevin Smith. Always have. Hi, Sabrina. How are you, baby? I've always been a fan. I've always been a fan of He-Man in the Master Universe. I'm not new to this. I collect female characters. So when you start talking about, oh, you don't want female protagonists, no, that's why you have She-Ra. And see, anything again, for all of you people out here defending what Kevin Smith might do, if you know anything about your Master Universe lore, She-Ra is Teela is a very, very integral part within the continuity of the Master Universe world, because she goes on later on to marry King He-Man. Nobody knows about that because you guys don't read. You guys don't read. You guys not into lore. You're not built for this. You're not into this like I am. I've been doing this since a child. I was into this stuff back when I was being called a nerd or cornball, or he's trying to act white. He's into that white boy stuff while y'all was up there doing this, that, and the other. Now, all of a sudden that you're older and everything, you see it's the hip thing to do. Now, all of a sudden, you know everything about Marvel. You know everything about DC. You know everything about He-Man and the Master Universe when you don't know anything. You don't. Back when people like me, Raymond, Kehinde, and everybody, ladies and gentlemen, I will leave a link in the description below. I want you to support Raymond Leonard. He produces his own comic books, his own characters that he creates. Not only just black characters, but well-written characters, which is what you need to do. And yes, he did have a son, and Teela was the mother. So I mean, by her, maybe she can take the power sword for a while. You understand what I'm saying? But I don't want this to be all about just Teela and her band of merry women just totally beating up all the bad guys and everything like that. You know what I mean? And yes, Raymond Leonard, if you can you put a link in the comments right here so I can post this so that people can support your independent comic? Again, he is another black creator that creates books. He creates his own original black characters or minority characters. Since you guys so much looking for inclusion, diversity, so on and so forth, support a black publisher, support a black writer, support a black man that is so up there writing good sci-fi lore, good pop culture lore but you know what? I forgot. You guys only consider those heroes if they're white and then turn black, right? Right. But you're so black, but you only consider those heroes that are these existing white characters, heroes unless they turn black. That's why you want a black Batman. That's why you want a black Superman. That's why you want a black Captain America. That's why you want a black Spider-Man, which I don't like Miles Morales because they're tokenized characters of existing white characters. That's like somebody taking a old 1981 Yugo, painting it black and be like, here, this is for you. And you happy to get it. No, demand original IPs. Again, check out my man Raymond Leonard right here. He writes good stories, great artwork, along with others. Varian Grant, check out his books, support his books, support his books. These are Black writers. Check out my man Kehinde Martin. He is in the Power Ranger circuit. He is also in the film. He writes the music. He does music for Power Rangers and have done music for other entities within the video game world, within the comic world, movie world, everything. Since you are so pro-Black. Now, getting back to Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith is a problem because of the simple fact that I am worried that he is going to totally destroy He-Man. And yes, I grew up in that era. Pardon my tongue is black because I'm drinking black coffee as always. I grew up in that era where men were represented by being hyper masculine. Do I feel as though hyper masculinity was wrong? No, I love it. I love it. We need more of it. We need more of it because we need strong men out here. May not like my conversation right now, may consider it vitriolic or whatever the case may be, but this is how I feel. We need more strong men, especially strong Black men. Now, getting back to Kevin Smith, I understand that there may be an issue with, oh, he wants to leave something for his family. Who knows? He may be running out of time. He may be feeling as though like he can't keep going, or he may be real sick and he maybe want to, as I stated before, want to garner as much finances and money he can for his family so that they will be set when he's long dead and gone, because he keeps talking about, I want to be remembered as a guy, but you know what? Be remembered as a guy that brought back He-Man in the Master Universe. Be remembered as a comic book guy that kept his integrity, his honor, stuck to the core elements of a story, told a good story, expanded upon made the old Filmation cartoon pale in comparison to your representation of Masters of the Universe. Masters of the Universe, for me, I love it. I will always love Masters of the Universe. And as I stated before, I'm not just new to this right here, man. I does this thing. He-Man is by my side all the time. I love He-Man. I grew up loving He-Man. Me and my friends played with him. And again, like you guys that are just in here talking about, oh, and just you're just not progressive enough. I am very progressive. I'm progressive for good story. I want good story. I don't want politics within my story. I don't want sexual or subculture within my stories, especially my escapism. I got real life for that. That's what I tackle real life with. When I read He-Man and Master Universe, I want good versus evil. I want some good battles, some great artwork, some great stories. So Kevin Smith, listen, if you don't do this right, you're going to lose a lot of fans. You're going to lose a lot of fans. And I will be one of the first people to watch that Masters of the Universe. Because see, unlike others, I don't just watch what I want to see. I watch things so I can come with a full, clear synopsis and understanding and review for you guys so that I can be like, look, this is how I felt about it. This is such and such and such, blase, blase. So I'm hoping that he does this right. Kevin Smith, I know, I've tweeted to you before, I'm a very big fan of your work, Kevin Smith. I love Clerks. I love the independent works that you've done. I love the Star Wars nods, the film where you mimic Star Wars, so on and so forth. I've been a very big fan of you. Very big fan of you, Kevin Smith. Don't do this. If you're going to make this a woke show, come out now and just tell everybody, look, it's going to be basically about Tila and this, that, and the other. You went and bashed people on YouTube about them saying like, because somehow or another, somebody knew or somebody had an idea or they got a hold of a script or whatever and said, look, Kevin Smith is going to make this woke. He's going to totally shove He-Man to the back. He's using that first episode to grab you guys in. And after that, it becomes a crap show. I don't want that. I don't want that. Give me a good ending to the Filmation series. Because honestly, I was never really a big fan of the Filmation series, but because I loved He-Man and the Masters of the Universe so much, or Masters of the Universe, period, so much, I would watch it. Was it one of my favorite cartoons? No. Especially not within the Lou Scheimer era. But I do have faith in you. I don't want to be, as I was told, I'm a naysayer, right? But everything is pointing towards what it might be. Do I mind Teela, a backstory for Teela? No, no. But I want everybody included. If this is supposed to be a revelation, a conclusion, everybody should have their shining spots within it. And it should essentially end up He-Man versus Skeletor in the end, because that's what Master of the Universe was founded on. Watch the first TV commercial, Kevin Smith, before the cartoon even came out. The first 3 toys they featured was Beastman, Skeletor, He-Man, Castle Grayskull. How do I know? Because I was one of those kids who grabbed it, bro. I was one of those kids that ran out the Valley Fair, which was a store around my way, that went to go get it. Don't do this to us, Kevin Smith. Seriously. Fans of He-Man, and then, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, you're too old. All right, so then if you feel that I'm too old to be into this stuff, whatever, you don't have to watch me. This not your thing. But me, myself, as a person that is invested, not just new to this. I have an office full of He-Man memorabilia, He-Man action figures, He-Man shirts. And if you're looking for this shirt, if you want to pick this shirt up, check my man out, Demetrius Holt. He does a nice black representation of He-Man. As I said before, representation of He-Man. I will put the links in this video so that you can pick this shirt up if you want to. But yeah, I'm gonna take some of you guys' comments right here. Just don't do this, Kevin Smith. Don't, because I mean, as an independent director, producer, etc., I've always followed you, bro. I've always, like, there have been times I've watched comic book. I went on a binge one time watching Comic Book Men. And you know, and I agree with you on many points. But it seems like now everything that you stood for is just totally being thrown out the door for this new woke culture, or this new whatever, this new changing white existing white characters into black, taking the men, totally abolishing men out of series and making them all about women. And the thing about it is, you do and pander these people when they don't even support your stuff. They don't. If you're trying to destroy the brand, just say that. Just be like, you know what? I'm out to destroy this brand, or whatever the case may be. I never liked He-Man anyway, blase, blase. But if you're doing it under the pretense of like, yeah, I'm going to hook you guys up, and then you lie to us, then yeah, you're going to get a lot of backlash. The He-Man fan base is big. We're not that loud, but it's big. It's very big. Very big. So, I mean, Kevin, I just want you to do right, man. Do this right, man. Because that artwork and animation you got going on is top notch, man. I'm loving the way how big He-Man looks. I'm loving the way they all look. It harkens back to the 2000X line. But if you just gonna do this for pandering sake, for woke sake, you're going to lose a lot, Kevin. Your credibility is going to be shot down, bro. It is going to be shot down instantly and massively. We grew up loving He-Man for the fact that he was a muscle-bound guy. Some people loved it on the Filmation side, where it's all like he had a heart. I loved it for the fact that it was a combination of Thunder the Barbarian, Conan the Barbarian, and, you know, like those two mashed together along with other barbarians that were out there. It was like the perfect mishmash of barbarians, magic, and science and stuff like that. I loved He-Man. Even with them using the same body sculpts within the toys in the 80s, well into the Motu classics. You know? And yes, Kevin Smith, I will be buying these toys regardless if the show is bad or not. I will be purchasing these toys because I love the way I've seen prototypes of the Masters of the Universe figures, and they look great. They look great. I'm loving the way you've given He-Man a nice, with more articulation. Mattel has done the articulation on these figures and everything. They look great, but I do not want a woke show. I don't want it. I don't want it. I understand that the story takes an arc and everything like that, but there's so many different ways you can go with this while incorporating Teela. And again, if you knew anything, and again, not to repeat myself, if you knew anything about the Master Universe lore or storyline, Teela is very important within the lore of Master of the Universe. There's one segment where she becomes the sorceress. There is another storyline where she becomes the wife of King He-Man. And if you know anything else, He-Man and She-Ra are destined to fight each other. They're destined to fight each other because there can only be one real wielder of that power. So again, you turn in She-Ra or Teela into into a He-Man and totally disavowing She-Ra or whatever the case may be, there's going to be a problem. I'm telling you. But I mean, you know, I hope he doesn't give in. I hope he does, you know, give us a great show or a great closure to the Filmation series, where so you know, it's not kicking out all men, kicking out all redheads, race swapping and gender swapping, this, that, and the other, which it seems like what he's trying to do. So I mean, like, I'm just hoping. I am hoping that this turns out well. I have my fingers crossed that this is going to be a good show. Please, please, let's just cross our fingers and hope that it does good. I am I don't know what else to say on this topic, but that I just hope it turns out well. I really do. I really, really do. Got a couple of comments over here. It says, true, so true. True, so true. Years ago, we nerds got picked on for loving comic books, sci-fi, fantasy, anime, horror, etc. And now, since it's the nerd stuff is cool now, and the movies based on comic books and fantasy are making billions at the box office, or everyone's a fan now, sorry, I think not. Nerds has this on locks for years. Exactly. Before motherfuckers was wearing t-shirts like this, I was rocking this shit proudly. You see me rock sunglasses, and I still do it. I still do it. I will go all the way to New York, have t-shirts made that wasn't made. When motherfuckers were like, oh, that's some old white boy shit, whatever the case may be, I was rocking it. You know? So, Kevin Smith, I don't know what to tell you, man. And again, you know, everybody, listen. Spotlight's on you, Kevin. Spotlight's on you. He-Man will be the last straw. If you can, before this launches, just come out and tell everybody, like, look, all right, it's going to be more so geared towards Tila and this is that and the other, and it's going to be this, it's going to be that, whatever the case may be. Because if you fool the Motu fans as well as your own fans, your integrity is lost. Your honor is broken. So, you know, the She-Ra show was horrible. The She-Ra show was horrible. So, you know, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just hoping that he does this the right way. I'm hoping that things don't turn out wrong. You know, things don't turn out wrong. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not new to this. I've been doing this for years. You can ask anybody how I roll, bro. And I've been rolling like this. After being locked up, I still came back out, played with action figures, collected action figures. I ain't new to this. I've been doing this. I got this, and I will be still doing this. So no, a lot of you guys that come to me with your conversations like I don't know what I'm talking about. No, you don't. Because before some of you were born, and I hate to use the age thing, before some of you were born, I was already reading this stuff. You came into this. I could tell you things that was existing during the 80s that you guys wasn't even, that you guys was like, at that time, it was like, come here, eat such and such. No, I've been doing this for years. Don't believe me? Ask my school, ask my classmates, ask my friends, ask girlfriends I dated. They'll even tell you, even when he was dating me, he was still collecting this. He was still into He-Man, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Thundercats, Silverhawks, etc., etc. The list goes on. Movies, pop cultures, cartoons, anime, comic books, books, graphics novels, video games. So, you know, let's just cross our fingers. And I mean, by the power of Grayskull, let's hope everything works out, man. Let's hope everything works out. I love y'all, man. I'll catch y'all later.